appointment to lose his teaching. What I'm excited about is I now get to teach the advanced stuff around quantum mind power. With the quantum stuff, your quantum time. Where I'm going to ask you to speak to yourself in the future and the past. I know some of you don't worry, thinking, what is he smoking? Trust me, we'll get there. But the Mind Power Quantum Leap is what I'm going to be speaking about today. And as I said, I first read the book in 1996. Then what happened is in 1999, I attended the course with John Keogh. At that time, it was a 4-week journey, because the reason why it was 4 weeks is it's once a week for 4 weeks in a row. Why is the course once a week for 4 weeks in a row? Any guesses? But not only comprehend, apply. I ask everybody who does my workshops with me, don't just listen to me speak about mind power. I ask everybody to commit to doing 30 minutes of mind power exercises every single day for 30 days in a row. 30 minutes for 30 days. Why? Because you don't go to the gym to watch other people working out. Or do you? I know some of you is like, yeah, that's why I go. I swipe my card, I have coffee, and I'm like, this is wonderful. But if you go to the gym for 30 minutes a day, for 30 days in a row, and you work out, will you get fitter, yes or no? I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot work out in your mind for 30 minutes a day, for 30 days in a row, without radically, and I mean radically, transforming your life. But there's a catch. Radical change requires radical discipline. You got to do something. But I promise you results. I don't just want you to feel motivated. I want results. And I have people coming up to me all the time. During lunch, I had people telling me what's happened to you since, when was it? October. Was it October? Some of you told me what happened to you since May. And I'm blown away, as they say in New Zealand. Blown away. Because I always say to the people in New Zealand, if you guys are online, I'm sure you're sleeping, there's no E between the W and the N. It's not blowing. It's blown. Well, Robin, I don't care. I was blowing away, mate. Blowing away. But I'm blowing away. I had a woman come up to me in Sandton City. Robin Banks, because of you, I'm pregnant. I looked at her and I said, ma'am, I don't remember. How drunk was I? I wasn't any good. She says, no, man, trust you to think something like that. She and her husband had been in fertility clinics for 6 years. And after 6 years, the doctor said, listen, we've tried everything. Forget it, you're never going to have children. Within doing the Mind Power course, 2 months after doing Mind Power, she fell pregnant. While she was speaking to me, she was pregnant for the 2nd time. So it wasn't luck. So I said to her, but how did you do it? She says, no, we use those techniques that you taught us, you know. No, not those techniques. Like, no, man, mind power techniques. And she says, and I told my husband, he must think potent thoughts. I told my husband he mustn't think he shoots blanks. He must think Robin Banks. No, I'm kidding. She didn't say that. I added that. She did not say that. But I hear stories all the time. So, within 1 month of doing the Mind Power course, I swear what I'm about to tell you is true. Those of you who've done Mind Power will attest to your results. 1 month later, I quadrupled my income. I swear. You know, some of you are going, I swear. There's nothing like quadrupling your income. Think of how much money you're earning right now. Think of how much you're earning. You don't have to tell anyone. Multiply it by 4. How many of you are okay with it if it happens next month? How many of you are saying, I never, not a chance? And I have never ever looked back. Because then what happened is in 2003, John Keogh went on sabbatical. He gave me the sole rights to teach his Mind Power course. Today I'm the only person who's given the rights to run his course. And today I literally travel the world teaching Mind Power. I'm entering my 16th year of teaching, actually 17th. Oh, I had it wrong. I'm entering my 17th year of teaching Mind Power. And I feel truly, truly blessed. Today, the Mind Power course is actually a 3-month experience. Why? because they've actually shown that in order to create a new habit, it takes 3 months. If you want to lose weight, give yourself 3 months. Don't give yourself a month. University, where I ask you to do 30 minutes of mind power every day for 3 months. Now, is that a big commitment? Yes. Would you be willing to do it to quadruple your income? See, listening to me speak doesn't give you the results. By the way, I'm a decent speaker. I'm reasonably good at what I do. That's not going to give you anything. It's going to give you inspiration. It's going to give you information. Only you give yourself transformation. How? Application. I ask you to do the work, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to do the work. I'll be your coach. I'll be your guide. I'll be your mentor. And I guarantee you results. We want results. And so I feel hugely blessed to be teaching the Mind Power course. So, well, what is mind power? Well, you can give me the camera for a moment. Oh, by the way, do you guys mind? My mother always said to me, Robin, when you speak in front of a group of people, ideally wear a jacket or wear a tie, because it shows them that you respect them. So I want you guys to know that I respect you. But I'm suffering, Manesh. I am suffering, Manesh. So you don't think I disrespect you? Okay, how much disrespect can we go for? So what is mind power? Well, before we can ask ourselves the question, what is mind power, a more important question is, what is reality? And what creates reality? I shared this with you this morning, but I'm going to do it again. Stay with me for 2 minutes. Reality starts with what we know. And in our reality as human beings, what we know and what we understand is physical matter. And physics is the study of physical matter. Recently, physicists have discovered scientifically what some ancient philosophical systems and religions have been claiming for millennia. Namely, that all matter is made up of the same stuff. We now have scientific proof and evidence which tells us that all matter is made up of light energy, and that the differences between the matter we experience is simply the result of light energy vibrating at a different frequency. So dense matter like rock and steel and earth are very slow vibrations of energy. Faster vibrations of energy are things like water, air, human flesh. So again, just imagine everything in this universe. These curtains, the roof, the floor, the screens, the chairs you're sitting on, the car you are driving in, the home you are living in. Everything is energy. It's all energy. And with the matter that is my brain, I seem to have the ability to hold this matter of the universe, this light energy, in such a way that I seem to have the ability to mold and create my own reality. Because my reality is as I see it to be. My reality is as I imagine it to be. My reality is as I believe it to be. And my thoughts and my beliefs are the things that create my reality. Now, Billy told you his story. Did you see the house that him and his wife lived in? Did you see? Did you see the house he's living in now? And where did he say it started? Inside. You have the power. Every single one of us has the power, despite your current circumstances, to go within and create. And today, I'd like to teach you how to do that. Would you like to learn how to do that? I want to make you a promise. You will leave this talk. Some of you will choose to join me. I'm going to make you an offer for those of you who'd like to come and study with me. But even if I never see you again, I want you to leave here today with tools and techniques so that you can actually start creating a new reality. So, question I'd like to ask you. There's 3 secrets, by the way. 3 secrets. The first secret I'd like to share with you is that you have unlimited power. I'm going to say that again. You have unlimited power. Unlimited. The second secret I'd like to share with you is how to reprogram the mind. And the third thing we're going to discuss today is how you can become a magnet for success. Would you like to be a magnet for success? Please repeat after me. I vibrate success. I vibrate success. And it attracts wealth to me. I vibrate success. And it attracts wealth to me. So I want to teach you how you can become a magnet for success. So number one, question I'd like to ask you. How many people in this room admit that you talk to yourselves? Who talks to themselves? Guys, it's okay to admit it. You're not crazy. They only say you're crazy when you answer back. Okay, who answers back? Yeah, the way I see it, it's a good conversation. How you doing? I'm fine, I'm fine. You're looking good. Thanks, thanks. Who's your daddy? You are. So we all talk to ourselves. Are you always talking out loud? Sometimes. If you're not talking out loud, what are you doing? You're thinking. Do you know that your mind thinks 24 hours a day? Can you give me the camera? Your mind thinks 24/7. This thing never stops thinking. This thing is always thinking. Right now as I'm speaking to you, one part of you is sitting there and you're listening to me. But let's be honest, you're thinking lots of other things. Am I right? I don't know what you're thinking. What's for snacks? And you are just, man, it's hot. Jesus, guy can talk. When does he leave? He's a bit over the top, but he's got the point. Do you think he was really going to take his shirt off? I think he would, eh? So this thing never shuts up. It's always thinking. Now, it's normal that you're always thinking. The question I want to ask you today is not are you thinking, but rather, what is it that you consistently think about? Write that down. What do I consistently think about? What do you think about most of the time? What are your thoughts? What do you focus upon? What do you dwell upon? What kind of books do you read? What do you watch? What do I feed my mind? What am I thinking about? Because I'm going to ask you today to think of your mind as a garden. Your mind is literally, and I mean literally, like a garden of rich, fertile soil. Because any seed that you plant into rich, fertile soil, if you nourish and care for the seed, what happens to it? It grows. If you put a tomato seed into rich, fertile soil and you nourish and care for the tomato seed, what's going to grow? Guys, hello? Let me ask again. I see some of you are not sure. If you put a tomato seed into rich, fertile soil and you nourish and care for the tomato seed, what's going to grow? Hello? If you put a weed seed into rich, fertile soil and you nourish and care for the weed seed, what's going to grow? And not those weeds. I see some of you going, weeds, man. Mind power. Legalize. Would you agree with me that it makes no difference to the soil what seed you plant? Would you agree? The soil will work with whatever you feed it. What's my point? Your mind doesn't care what thoughts you think. Your mind doesn't care when you think about how hard it is to find a relationship or how I'm now attracting an ideal partner to me. Your mind doesn't care when you think about how hard it is to fall pregnant or I am pregnant already. Your mind doesn't care when you think about money is flowing to me in oceans of abundance or I never have enough money. Your mind works with what you feed it. So do you want to know what you've been feeding your mind? I asked you to write down what have I been thinking about. Do you want to know what you've been thinking about? Look at your life. Your life is a direct reflection of the state of your consciousness. So if you don't like what's happening out here, see, most people want to change the problem here. This is not where the problem is. The problem is here. Take out the weeds. What are the weeds? The seeds that don't serve you. Sow new seeds. So your mind doesn't care what you think because it makes no difference to your mind, but it makes all the difference to you. It makes all the difference to the harvest that you're going to reap in your life as a result of the seeds that you can keep sowing. Now, if you build a house, where does the house start? Before the foundation, before the plans. It starts first with the thought. Would you agree? First you think about building the house, then you draw the plans, then you dig the foundation, then you build the house. Why? Because everything starts first as a thought. Name me one thing that man has created that didn't start first as a thought. Gallagher Estates, this venue, was a thought. Would you agree? The chair you are sitting on was a thought. The car you are driving in was a thought. The house you are living in was a thought. Everything starts as a thought. I mean, man, these beautiful sandals you're wearing, somebody had the thought. Your nail polish was a thought. Your watch, I see you got an Apple Watch. Apple products was a thought. Apple's one of the most successful companies in the world. Whose thought was it? Everyone thinks it was Steve Jobs. It was a Zulu guy. It was a Zulu guy. No, think about it, Odwa. It's obvious. He watch, he phone, he Mac, he pet, he joke. Yeah, I'm lying. But it was Steve Jobs. It started in the garage. It started in the garage, Shuwei. It started in the garage. Everything starts with a thought. Your bracelet was a thought. Your ring was a thought. Your earring was a thought. Even you. You started as a thought. And even if it was a mistake, you think. And 9 months later, you're like, ta-da, I was just an idea. Now I'm here, Tobela. So, please repeat after me. Everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a thought. And you want to hear the best news? Who'd like some more news? Your hand was first, my brother. And what is your name, my man? Musa, that's correct. How did you know? You got it right. It's okay. But I do want to share something with you. It's just a bit close. You're right. So, Musa, do you know, thank you, please leave those lights on. Do you know that every morning when you wake up, and I mean this sincerely, every single morning when you wake up with unlimited power, my friend. That's okay, it's not necessary. Do you know that you wake up every morning with that? What do you think is the unlimited power you wake up with? I'll give you a hint. I've been talking about it for the last 3 minutes. That's how I tell it in my mind. Your thoughts, mister. Every morning you wake up, you can choose what you want to think, my friend. Is this your wife or your lady? She doesn't wake you up and say, Musa, Musa, wake up, wake up, wake up, Musa. Here's your thoughts for the day. Some of them are positive, but some are negative. I did my best. Good luck. It's tough out there. People are suffering, but you can do it. Would you agree? No one tells you what to think. Every morning, every single one of us wake up. We can choose. You can choose what you want to think. How many of you remember your first thought this morning? Who remembers their first thought? Raise your hand if you remember it. Awesome. I see, according to my mind power, 84 hands have gone up. Out of 4,500 people, what's my point? You don't even know what you're thinking about. I remember my first thought. I remember it well. I woke up this morning, I set my alarm for 5:35, and for some weird reason I was so excited I woke up at 5:25. And my first thought was, it's going to be an awesome and outstanding day. It's going to be an awesome and outstanding. Now, did I deliberately put that thought into my head? Why? Because I can. No one says you can't think that. You don't know it's going to be an awesome and outstanding. Well, what if something bad happens? What if you have an accident? Then what? Then I'll have an awesome and outstanding accident. Now, some people don't even choose their own thoughts. Some people set the alarm to wake them to the news. How uplifting. That's your first thought. Good morning, 6 o'clock, time for your daily news bulletin. 17 people were killed in Iraq this morning. The global economic crisis is getting worse. Ebola, Ebola, Ebola. ISIS, 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 and Jacob Zuma had another child. And then we wonder why we all feel so negative in the country. Some people listen to the same news bulletin 3 times on the way to work just to be sure. News. How many times do you have to hear the same negative news? Like, don't you get a point where, like, I know this? No, I want more. Oh, by the way, talking about Jacob Zuma, did you guys hear that Nick Rabinowitz says he's discovered why Umsholozi has been getting married so many times? He's going for number 7. Do you guys know why? Apparently, the first time Jacob Zuma got married, he misunderstood the priest. It was just a misunderstanding. Because the priest was saying, Jacob, you must get married for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer. And it took him a while because, you know, Jacob and numbers. It's like, okay, listen carefully. Oh, 60, I'm on my way. Shiniwa, 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 Shiniwa. It was just a misunderstanding. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can I let you in on a secret? I deliberately use humor. Do you know why I use humor? It keeps your mind here, and I know it's hard. But I want you here. Because remember, wherever you go, there you are. Be present. Even though I'm using humor, don't miss the point. I've given you 2 things. 2 things. Right now, if you apply them, you get results. What are those 2 things? Every morning, Musa, every morning, no matter how bad your life is, no matter how bad the day was before, every morning you wake up with unlimited power. The power to think whatever thought you want. Even if it's not true, you can think the thought. Number 2, everything that man creates starts first as a thought. Tell me, these 2 things don't give you incredible power to shape your destiny. Now, Brian spoke to you in his talk, and Tony, raise your standards. And by the way, I share Brian's story. I remember at the age of 45, 4 years ago, and I also decided, you know what? Business class. Anything longer than 4 hours, I don't mind flying economy, because sometimes people bump into me to Durban. Why are you sitting in economy? I like it's an hour. I'm okay. But for me, anything longer than 4 hours, business class. And in the beginning, I must say to you, I was like, but I'm paying 6 times for the same distance. Yeah, but once you've traveled up there, you're going back to safari. It's like, I'd rather not do it unless you're prepared to pay, because once you felt it, you're like, yeah, it's different. It's like Woolworth's chicken. You know, or you can have that chicken. I like the word, but it's like chickens. So coming back. So everything starts as a thought. So here's my point. What are you after? What do you want? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, please give me the slides. Your self-talk has a very powerful impact on your self-image. What I think about myself affects what I believe. What I tell myself, I start to believe. The most important voice is the voice in the head. So what I think affects what I believe. What I believe in turn affects what I do. What I think affects what I believe. What I believe affects what I do. Now, I've got a friend by the name of Elaine. Whenever I ask her how she is, I'll say, Elaine, how are you doing today? Her favorite saying is, I can't cope. She's like a stuck record. She says this all the time. I can't cope. I can't cope. I can't cope. I can't cope. In fact, her other favorite is when I say to Elaine, how are you doing? Robin, it's hectic. My life is hectic. It's so hectic. Do you guys know what's hectic? What's hectic? Pussy. No, hectic is a tick on the gate. Because a heck is a gate. So the next time you hear someone saying it's hectic, I want you guys to visualize this tick sitting on a gate. Great, heck is hectic. Heck is hectic. It's going to change your experience of the word. Some are going to go to work on Monday. Oh, I'm so glad you're back. It's been hectic. Hectic. But now, the more she keeps on saying to herself, I can't cope. I can't cope. What do you think she's going to believe? What do you think is going to happen? When I explain this to her, you know what she says to me? Ah, please, man, Robin, don't give me your motivational nonsense. Save it for your audiences. She says, you don't know what's happening in my life. She says, right now I'm going through a divorce. I can't cope with that. Not only that, I went in for a performance appraisal with my boss. They're doing retrenchments. My car needs to go in for a service. I can't afford to pay for it because I don't have enough money. She gives me a whole list of reasons. And then she says, you see, Robin, this isn't just happening to me in my mind. Because you telling me it's all in the mind. She says it's not in the mind. She says, look at my life. Look at my job. Look at my car. Look at my finances. Look at my reality. Is this her reality? Who creates her reality? When she sees that she can't cope in her life for real, what does that make her think again? I can't cope. Look, 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 look. You see, told you can't cope. Now she's got proof. So she can think it again. I can't cope. She believes she can't cope. Something else goes wrong and she doesn't cope. Look, look. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes what we all know is called a self-fulfilling. The more you say something, the more you believe it. The more you say something, the more you believe it. Do you know that we all do this? There's a couple of topics that the mind loves to worry about. What do you think is the number one topic that most people worry about? Money. So what do? When you do what everybody else does, give me the slides, and you think to yourself, let me do this one here. Every month, by the middle of the month, I'm broke. Every month, by the middle of the month, I'm broke. Every month, by the middle of the month. I mean, you've been thinking this way for years, feeding that seed. Every month, by the middle of the month, I'm broke. Grow for daddy. I never have enough money. They even got songs helping. Money's too tight to mention. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Now, the more you keep telling yourself that every month, by the middle of the month, I'm broke, guess what you're going to believe? Every month, by the middle of the month, I'm broke. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to be broke. And right now, as I'm saying this, some of you are sitting there going, oh, please. Don't give us this motivational nonsense, Robin. It's the 19th of January. I'm already broke. You know, guys, up until the age of 28, I always used to get to the end of the month with just 20 rand left in my bank account. Just 20 rand. And I know some of you are sitting there going, yeah, at least it's positive. You should be grateful. Mine is negative. And I always used to think it's because my boss doesn't pay me enough money. And then one day I got a promotion with 1,000 rand a month increase. Guess what at the end of the month? 20 rand. Then when I did the Mind Power course, I discovered what was stopping me from having money. What do you think it was? Here's a hint. Because most of what's happening up here is absolute BS. And you know what I mean by BS? Belief system. So I started questioning my beliefs around money, and I suddenly realized I had so many negative beliefs around money. Like, how many of you know that saying, money can't buy you happiness? And by the way, is it true? I love asking that question. I always get different answers. I see some of you are sitting there going, yes, Robin, it's true. Money can't buy you happiness. I see some of you are sitting there going, you don't know where to shop. I will buy happiness. I know where. They're on the corner of Main Road. Her name is Happiness. Look, he knows happiness. Anyhow, so I started questioning my thoughts about money. And I suddenly realized I had so many negative beliefs on money. Like, how many of you know, money can't buy you happiness. And by the way, is it true? Yes, it is true. Ladies and gentlemen, I agree. I agree 100%. Money can't buy happiness. But I still think there's something wrong with the statement because it creates the impression that poverty can. Money can't buy happiness, so be broke. Then you'll be happy. The reason you're not happy, too much money. No. By the way, I know rich people who are miserable. I do. And I know poor people who are also miserable without it. So the question is, do you want to be miserable with money or do you want to be miserable without? No, I'm kidding. That's not the question. I see some of you going, Robin, make me miserable, man. I'll be the happiest miserable person. Because by the way, I know rich people who are very happy. And I know poor people who are extremely happy because money and happiness have got nothing to do with each other. Money can't buy you happiness. Yes, it is true. But at least you can arrive at your problems in style. You can say problems is he But there's another topic which can consume the mind, and that is jealousy. Now, I was in a relationship with a woman once for 6 years. I'm sorry, my brother. Where's the guy? I sat on your lap. I'm sorry. Disappointing. And you know, monitor a little bit more, guys. Give me this monitor more. You know, if you've been in a relationship with one person for 6 years, I'm sure you'll agree with me that you get to know that person very well. My ex-girlfriend and I used to live on the same property. She had an apartment on one end of the property and I had an apartment on the other end. So I always knew whether she was home or not because I could see her car from my bedroom window or anybody else's car. I could see. Usually my girlfriend used to come home from work about 5:30 in the evening, unless she went to the gym. If she went to the gym, she'd come home by 6:30. But she was always home by latest 6:30. Anyway, one day about 2 months after we had broken up, I was in my bedroom closing the curtains. As I'm busy closing the curtains, I peeped through the window and I noticed her car's not back yet. So I looked at my watch, it's 7:30. I thought, now 7:30 and she's not back yet. I thought, I wonder where she could be. Ask your mind a question like, I wonder where she could be. Do you know what your mind starts doing? It starts wondering. Because any question you ask your mind must look for. It's like the ultimate Google search. www.go find where is she. So like the good servant that my mind is, it starts wondering for me. Maybe she's over here. Maybe she's with so-and-so. I even started phoning her friends. Is Vicky there with you? Do you know where she went to? She's still not back to. Till eventually I thought, hey, Robin, shut up. This is none of your business. I'm not in relationship with her anymore. Leave it alone. So I went to the lounge. I was busy faffing around. I was watching the news on TV. Anyway, at about 8:30 that night, now I was kind of just like walking through the bedroom. And as I was walking through, I happened to go walking past. So I peeped out of the window at 8:30 at night, and guess what? She's still not back. 8:30. Where can she be? And then I remembered that she had met a man at a conference that we had attended 2 weeks earlier. While she was sitting and having lunch with this guy, she was laughing a lot more than usual. Yeah, she was laughing like that. Like, and I thought, I bet you she's gone out with that guy. I thought, now how can she do this to me? We've only been apart for 2 months. She's already seeing other men. I mean, guys, we don't do that sort of thing. Guys, ladies, guys would never, not after 2 months, give us 2 hours. We are much more efficient than that. We are like Jacob. Anyhow, I thought to myself, now, where do you think they've gone? Please remember this. Write it down. Any question you ask your mind, it looks for answers. Any question. Your primary job is to ask the right question. So I thought, well, maybe they've gone to movies, or maybe they've gone to dinner, or there's that show she wants to see. Till eventually I thought, Robin, shut up. This is none of your business. Leave it alone. I went to the lounge, faffing around. Anyway, 11 o'clock that night, I was going to bed. As I was going to bed, I walked past. So I peeped out of the window at 11 o'clock at night, and guess what? Who said 2 cars? That's your story, whoever said 2 cars. It was you, I heard you. 2 cars was you. That's your story. 11 o'clock at night, she's still not back yet. What do you think they're doing? Oh, hell. Now, when you ask that question, do you guys know what that means? Whenever a bushman is standing in the bush, when he sees a lion coming towards him, running, you hear the bushman going, which basically means, he come kak. So I'm standing there and going, what do you think they're doing? I started, you see, here's the most amazing thing about the mind. Not only does your mind think thoughts, your mind has this amazing ability to see pictures. I started seeing what they were doing in multicolored pictures, high definition, Dolby, stereo. She was doing things with him she never even did with me. Do you know that I didn't sleep that night? I lay awake the whole night wondering what she was doing with this guy. By 2 o'clock in the morning, she was still not back. And I know because I checked. 7 o'clock that morning, her car was still not back. I was in a bad mood the whole day because of what she had done to me. Anyhow, later that afternoon, I found an excuse to go drop something off. Something that I've had for a few years. Anyhow, we started chatting about the weather and chat maar das net een ding ek wil weet. Waar was jy? So after a while I said, so by the way, Vicky, by the way, where were you last night? She says, no, I was here at home. Dat ligt sy nog. I said, your car wasn't here. She says, I took my car in for a service. They kept it overnight. She had been home the whole night. Just because I didn't see her car, I was convinced that she was with another man. I saw them getting married. They were having babies. Oh man, they were having a hard time in my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask, how many people in this room are honest enough? It doesn't have to be now. It doesn't have to be in your current relationship. It could be 30 years ago. Who's had something similar, please? Who's had something? Thank you very much for these many honest people. The rest of you, you bastards, come out. Come in here with those tendencies. And what's my point? What's my point? Your mind makes up stories. Your mind is both your best friend and what does it mean? What means that your mind is your best friend is when you can get your mind to think about what you want it to think about. Oh, it's your best friend. But when your mind is running the show, it can be a real dictator. And you don't want your mind to be a dictator. You want to dictate your own thoughts. Now, I want to show you how easy what is possible. I want to show you a video, which is, there's a lady please open up the video, don't press play, but open it up for me. I want to show you a video of a lady by the name of Adele and her husband Dialin. Adele did my Mind Power course with me, I think it was the beginning of 2017. Her husband didn't even do the course. Listen to what happened to them in 9 months, boss. 9 months, boss. Please play the video of Adele and Dialin.
My name is Adele.
And my name is Dialin. We're married, in case you didn't notice.
12 years, but it feels like 2 months. After seeing Robin Banks earlier on this year, it changed my life completely. My kids are happier. My marriage is happier. I've never earned more than 10,000 in a month. And last month, I got a check for 50,000.
50,000.
9 months, boss.
I want my 10%.
I finished pesos, I can't pay. But the transformation for me in a month, not even having seen you in person, just reading posts on your wall, listening to your personal mastery CD, my life, according to everybody else, has changed dramatically. People want to be around me. My kids don't want to leave me alone. My wife loves me more than I think she ever has. We're financially stable for the first time in a long time. And I cannot imagine or fathom that my life would have ever been this way in the space of 1 month. Okay. And we owe it to you.
Thank you, guys. That's awesome. Well done. Great. Bye. Isn't that amazing? 9 months, boss. So, do me a favor. Let's talk about money for 10 seconds. Think about how much you're earning. Multiply it by 5. How many of you are okay with it, even if it takes 9 months? How many of you are okay, even if it's going to take you 9 months? Why? I quadrupled my income in 1 month. I was running my own business. I had the wherewithal. She had to go through some changes, but she went from 10,000 to 50,000 in 9 months. Why? You don't plant a seed today and expect a tree to grow tomorrow. It takes work. It takes discipline. But it produces results. I was in Mauritius in May last year, and as I'm sitting there at this beautiful hotel, amazing luxury resort called Lux Grand Gorb, and I'm sitting there, I was doing some work for my clients, and I've just finished a day of training. Some woman gets out of the shuttle. Robin Banks! Oh my goodness, what are you doing here? So I'm like, no, I'm doing some work for my... She says, don't you recognize me? Should I? She says, yeah, well, things have changed a lot. She says, listen, are you staying here? Are you staying here? I said, yes. Are you staying for the weekend? I said, yeah, I'm staying for it. She says, don't worry, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. We must talk, you and I. Okay, have a lekker time. I'll see you later. And here she's a colored. So I'm like, okay. Later that weekend, I bumped into her and her partner, and she tells me a story. She says that she did my Mind Power course in May the year before, 1 year. And she says when she did the course, she was in an abusive relationship. I said, what do you mean? Was your husband verbally abusive? No, he used to donger me, the bastards. And when you told me I'm the cause of my own reality, and I thought if I'm creating the stuck, I must stop the stuck. And so I created a vision, because you must said have a vision, right? So I created a vision of a relationship with someone who loves and adores me. So I divorced that guy. Now I've met this guy. Anthony, this is Robin Banks I was telling you about. We engaged to be married. I'm like, yo, okay, nice to meet you. She says, also, I started my own business. I was working for a company, I won't mention the name, it's quite a big company. I was working for a boss, and but I realized, no, man, you must say I must create my own reality. I started my own business, and today I'm earning 10 times the salary I was earning a year ago. 10 times, I swear, Kasam. And she says, and the reason you don't recognize me is I lost 33 kilos. Now, is that a lot of change, or is that a lot of change? Give me the slides. That's a lot of change, man. This is Shonice. No wonder I didn't recognize her. I'm like, yo, what happened, Keegan? 1 year. So what happened is that she gave up a 9-to-5 job, started her own business, left an abusive marriage, found love, lost 33, that's like a whole person. And she increased her salary 10 times. Isn't that amazing? Ladies and gentlemen, Shonice. Isn't she beautiful? So, what are you after? What do you want? Learn to focus your mind. Have a vision. What do you want your physical body to look like? What do you want for your finances? What do you want for your relationship? What are you after? Because the second secret is, if you know what you want and you believe you've got the power, then you need to reprogram the mind. Now, according to Sigmund Freud tells us that the human mind is divided into 3 sections. Do any of you know what the 3 sections of the mind are called? Conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. And you do actually have an unconscious mind. Some of us live there most of the time, watching days of other people's lives. So what do you use your conscious mind for? Thinking, planning, decision making. What are you doing right now that you're not even consciously aware that you're doing, but you're doing it anyway? Breathing. You're not sitting there and saying to yourself, okay, breathe in, breathe out. Or maybe some of us are. There could be a few in the room. I must be careful. Breathe in, breathe out. Oh, pump hard. I'm vergeet ek. Breathe in, pump hard, breathe out, blink out. Oh, blink eyes, blink eyes. Breathe in, pump hard, blink eyes, breathe out. Blink eyes, pump hard, blink out. Oh, I need to pee. Breathe in, pump. Oh, shit. God. I mean, if you had to do everything consciously, you go nuts. Would you agree? So, your unconscious mind is used for automatic functioning. Things you do automatically, you don't think about them, you just do them. Most of our habits are unconscious. We believe we'll never have enough money. We're not even aware it's in there. You believe you're not worthy of love. You believe there's not... Someone once said to me, Robin, I just can't seem to find the right relationship. The right person's just not out there. I said, are you living on the moon? She says, what do you mean? I said, there's close to 8 billion people on this planet. You can't find one. I said, there's so many amazing people out there. But if you believe that you'll never find love, you ask and you shall receive. It doesn't say only ask for positive things. Whatsoever you ask for, you shall receive. So, so the conscious mind, now when you first learn how to, give me the camera, when you first learn how to drive a car, when you first learn, which mind do you use, conscious or unconscious? Because the first time you learn, there's a lot to remember. Would you agree? Like the first time you get into a car, you see there's 3 pedals, but there's only 2 feet. Hoe gaan dit werk? Ek kort 'n voet. Waar is die ander voet? Bring 'n voet, man. Ek wil bestuur. But the first time you learn, it's hectic. Like the first time, it's like, clutch in, petrol out, first gear, clutch out. How many of you had that the first time? The first time, it's complicated. Now, most of you have been driving for years. Which mind are you using to drive today? Conscious or unconscious? You don't think about it. You don't get into the car and say, bye, see you later, clutch in, petrol out. You just get in and you drive. You don't think about it. How many driving lessons did you go for? Did you only go for 1 lesson? No, you went repeatedly. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, as human beings, one of the most effective ways we learn is through repetition. 30 minutes, 90 days. Repetition. Feed your mind the thoughts you want it to think. Feed your mind like you feed a garden. Nurture and care for the seed over and over and over again. I want to prove to you that you've been conditioned through repetition. Guys, what's 3 times 3? Quick. 5 times 4. 7 times 5. 12 times 12. 7 times 7. 13 times 9. They only program me up to 12. When I get past 12, the computer switches off. Now, why is that? Because at school, for some reason, you were only conditioned up to 12. How are you conditioned? Through repetition. 3 times 3 is equal to 9. 3 times 4 is equal to 12. 3 times 5 is over and over again. So today when I say what's 9 times 3, you just saw 27. Am I right? I say what's 6 times 6, you just saw? I say what's 12 times 7, you just saw? 84. Well, some of you. I see some of you are sitting, we carry over. I wasn't good at 12, Robert. But when I say what's 13 times 9, it's not in the computer. Can we get it into the computer? How? If I told you 10 times a day for the next 2 weeks, that 13 times 9 is 117. 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 If I told you in 6 months, if I came back 6 months later, I said, what's 13 times 9? What would you say? Because you've conditioned it. Anything. Can you condition your mind to believe anything? You can brainwash or Brian Walsh your mind to believe absolutely anything. but your mind needs leadership. And if you are not feeding your mind, society is feeding it for you. So you need to take control. Today can be the change that life will never be the same again. Not because of me or Brian or Billy or Ann or Justin, but because of you. Because of a decision you make. Because of an action you take. A commitment to transforming your life, to taking control of your thoughts and shaping your destiny. So what are you after? What do you want? Even when children learn how to walk, what do children first do? Sorry, I'm gonna hop off the stage for a moment. What children first do is first they crawl, right? So what happens is they come crawling along the floor and they're like, Mama, 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 come Mama, get excited, Mama, Mama, Mama. And then of course what happens? You're good, Mama. Then of course what happens? Who's your Mama? And then of course what happens is they get up. And once they get up, they're like, yo, this is better. Why didn't you tell me? I've been crawling for months. What kind of father are you letting a child crawl for months? Do children just get up and walk? What happens? How many times? Hundreds. Do you know what I love about children? They never, ever give up. As we become adults, something weird happens. Hey? You try something new once. If it doesn't work the first time, what do? Have you ever heard yourself saying, you know, I tried that thing once. I tried that diet once. Look. Oh, this positive thinking this guy's talking about, I've got his book. I've got that book on my shelf. Because I'm into shelf development. Doesn't work. Can you imagine if children were like that? Imagine if children were like adults. Tried walking once. It didn't work. I just fell over. And I thought, that's it. Never, ever again. I'm not doing this up and down. It's humiliating, even for a child. Can you imagine what the world would be like? We'd all be crawling. Hi guys, I'm Robin. Nice to meet you. Hey, nice kneecaps. Where'd you get those? Nice strong kneecaps, eh? Please press 8 on the lift. I can't reach her. Oh, I need to pee. You know, because we tried it once. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to try something new once, forget it. What I love about children is children never, ever give up. So let me make you a promise. Even if you come and study with me, some things will change immediately. Some will take time. I told you about my goals. End of 2017, 35 normal standard. Having said that, the goals I set were not my normal standard. I waited another year, and am I glad I waited? Because I decided, no, I still want it. That's what I'm after. That's what I'm after. God's delays are not God's denials. Know that what is yours will come to you. But here's one of the secrets. Desperate energy repels. Sorry, I need some tape, guys. Desperate energy. If you are desperate for something, you actually push it away. Do you know that? Have you ever been on a date with someone who is so desperate to have a relationship, you can't wait to leave? Have you ever been in like, oh, how much longer? Yeah. I got, just send me, you must send me, please call me. Oh, yeah, really, what happened? Oh, I'm coming. Okay, bye. Because some people's energy is so desperate. Now, coming back to my point. As human beings, one of the best ways to learn through repetition. But what's the subconscious responsible for? What's in the subconscious? What's in the subconscious? More than your thoughts. More than your thoughts. I heard someone saying it. Your beliefs. Everything that has ever happened in your life before is stored in your subconscious. From the time you were little, you've heard things about yourself. And you've got this voice in the head, which is constantly telling you who you are. You know the voice in the head I'm speaking about? Because I can see some of you are sitting there going, what voice? That voice that just said, what voice? That voice. And so you've got this voice which is telling you what you are capable of. My invitation to you today is to become the voice. I made you do something very silly at the beginning. I am a gladiator. I will not be denied. You will not believe the stuff I say to myself in the shower. You should come. It's very, very inspiring. So, you see, I'm going to ask you to think. I'm going to ask you to think of your mind. Unfortunately, the nice thing about the screen is that it doesn't, oh, you can see slightly. But the subconscious mind, or the mind is like an iceberg. Now, the tip of the iceberg is the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is a beautiful, amazing gift. It is such an amazing tool. You can work with it consciously and create and design with it. The subconscious mind is all the stuff below the surface. Which mind do you think is more powerful? I'm giving you a hint. The word is on the board in case you're not sure. Which mind do you think is more powerful? Conscious or subconscious? Which one's more powerful? Which one? How did you know? They say that the subconscious mind is 100,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. What does that mean? You think a positive thought once. It's a drop in the ocean. It changes nothing. The conscious mind needs to reprogram the subconscious mind like a tape recorder. Now, what does the tape recorder do? It records, it stores, and it plays back. So everything that has ever happened in your life before is stored in your subconscious mind. From the time you were little, what kinds of things have most of us heard? What's wrong with you? Are you stupid or something? What's your problem? Why can't you be more like all the other children at school? Or you know you'll never amount to anything. Or my favorite one, who the hell do you think you are? Or as my mother used to say when she used to give me a hiding. Can you imagine? I used to get lots of hiding. Answer me, damn it, answer me. Then when I used to answer, don't backchat. I was so dear, my God. What can we do? Now, she didn't know, there's not only negative messages, you've got positive ones as well. My darling, my sweetheart, my angel, I love you. You're so friendly, you're so confident, you're so good looking. I mean, those are obviously my beliefs. And all of us have got, all of us have got beliefs about ourselves. What's mind power? Can you give me the camera? What's mind power about? Helping you to discover the negative belief, weed it out. Take out the weeds, sow new seeds. That's it. Take out the weeds, sow new seeds. Take out the weeds, sow new seeds. Take out the weeds, sow new seeds. How often? Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. I've been teaching this program for 17 years. I still find weeds. So you have to keep working at it. It's not, you don't go to the gym for 3 months and then 2 years later after you stop to go, how come it's, I worked out. It was amazing. And look now, look. No, you need to keep working in the garden. You need to keep working on your own growth, never-ending growth and development. So, for the longest time, now by the way, you've got beliefs about everything. You've got beliefs about money. We touched on that. You've got beliefs about relationships. Like this one woman left a marriage. She and her husband had such a bad marriage that she left the relationship with a new belief system that all men are bastards. And because she believes that all men are bastards, and she vibrates with this energy that all men are bastards, guess what she attracts? Bastards, 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 bastards. I got the bastard. Because she believes that all men are bastards, of course she's going to attract bastards. Then she reads newspaper articles. Who's causing the problems in the world? Men, you bastards. Then she joins groups of women who are divorced. They speak about their ex-husbands. Yours was also a bastard. Man, bastard. What do you think of the chances this woman is going to attract a significant relationship? I'm willing to bet your next relationship will be with a woman. Make sure next time, make sure. Now, you know, guys, for the longest time, the strongest man in the world was a Russian man. His name was Sergey Vodacek. And Sergey Vodacek could pick up 598 pounds in a heavy overweight lift. 598. But he couldn't do 600. Tried it many times. Just couldn't do those extra 2 pounds. What's 2 pounds? 912 grams. Couldn't do it. So one day what happened, these doctors and scientists came, they did some tests on him, and they concluded that it was physically impossible for a human being to lift more than 600 pounds. They tested his sinews and his body, and they said, you know, it cannot be done. And it became known as the 600-pound barrier. Man will never lift more than 600 pounds. They wrote articles on it in muscle magazines and medical journals. So one day what happened is his trainers tricked him. They put 601 pounds on the bar. And they said to him, Sergey, here's your usual 598. We just wanted to see if you can still do it. What's his belief about 598? So he went down and he picked up 601 pounds, believing it was 598. And guess what? He did it. And his trainers went wild. They said, Sergey, do you realize what you've just done? You've just broken the world record. You've just lifted 601 pounds. He says, what are you talking about? No one can do that. It's a 600-pound barrier. And they weighed the weights into a vrachtiewagen. 601 pounds. He became world famous. He traveled around the whole of Asia and Europe. Proving that he could do it, but he was only world famous for 3 weeks.